What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Capes and Cowls. It's the big thing, and man, this studio, it's starting to look better. It's starting to look better, and it's all because of you guys, and we'll get into that in a little bit. I got Coy here, I got Winston here, and today, obviously, we'll be doing our spoiler-heavy review of She-Hulk Episode 4, but I think the majority of this conversation is really going to go into Saturday's D23 panel. There's already big rumors of who's directing Fantastic Four, who's going to be Reed Richards, who's going to be Sue Storm. It's already out there. That usually means when there's smoke, there's fire. And I think that means that we pretty much have our Sue Storm, Reed Richards, and director. I'll get the guy's opinion on that for sure. There's a lot to talk about today. I'm pretty excited about it. If you're brand new to the channel, make sure that you subscribe to it. Try to get us to 70,000. I got these characters on here. They're going to be doing stand-up comedy with me. We're going to be doing Capes and Cowls on the road, everything. But we got to get to 70,000 by the end of the month. I want to make sure that you guys are out there and you're putting in the comments and doing everything that you can. And if you haven't checked out the big thing, we have so much stuff going on this channel, whether it's Big Thing on Spotify. You just go there and you follow it. You go on Apple Podcasts. Really anywhere the podcasts are found, but those are the places that really help us tremendously. And then we have the Big Thing Clips channel also, where the last couple of days have been it's been busy, man. It's been busy, but we're going to be updating that for sure. I mean, that's it right now. We're going to, like I said, we'll get into the rest of it in just a moment here, but it's myself, oh, you know what I definitely didn't do? I spent so much time, everybody. I can't even tell you how much time I spent on everything except the damn show logo. So you can watch this. It's She-Hulk, apparently. It's Capes and Cowls. Welcome back, everybody. It is Capes and Cowls. We will be talking about She-Hulk, obviously, but I've got with me here Winston A. Marshall, Coy
I'm back.
John
Studio
Dro.
looks dope.
Thank you so much. One of the things, I had so Perry was in here the other day because we had Mary Mouser on. She came into the studio
for Mary,
for Cobra Kai.
Yeah, I went to the premiere last night. That was fun.
Yeah, we know you did Fancy Pants.
Fancy Pants. Got to see Mary and Gianni.
So I saw you doing
everybody.
your GQ smooth poses.
Ooh.
Yeah, but
I had to watch a lot of YouTube videos to learn that. I had to watch a lot of short kings how they walk on carpets.
It worked. It worked.
Appreciate it. It's a lot of learning.
But look, go ahead.
Just me watching Mark Wahlberg videos.
It's so funny because Coy has the energy of somebody who's like 6'5". Yeah. But when I tell you, we have been late to start recording this show.
I was here 11:19. I just got stuck at the gate.
Because homie can't open a gate.
And that was like 15 minutes. So I was 4 minutes late, which caused a 20-minute window because they're like setting up the studio.
Yeah.
The gate kept me outside for 20 minutes. I was legit stuck outside like a hobbit. Like
y'all love calling me Lil Win because that one time the camera angle made me look small. This man is actually tiny.
Actually very small. I'm over here. I got angles. I know my angles.
But I got to give props to first we're gonna give a lot of props in a second, but I got to give props to Brett Sheridan because he's been in here. Like if you notice that the lighting is a lot better now too, and obviously Brett has set this up. But the reason why is those are officially called the Nate lights. Those are officially called the Nate lights because we have been really blessed, everybody. And I've mentioned this on Sith Council yesterday, and I have to mention it here. So as I went out on my own, I was on after I left Collider. I was on my own for like 2 months, and then I joined Skybound, and I became an executive over there for like 2.5, almost 3 years. So I'm officially kind of going out on my own now, and I was like, we're going to build it out. We got to really make it look better. We want to give the audience the best. I'm very confident in the stuff that we do on the shows themselves, but I wanted to make sure that it looked good. I wanted to make sure we had everything. So Brett and I put together this list, and we're like, okay, this is all the stuff that we need. Now, if we get this in 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, whatever, let's put a list. And he's like, I've put Amazon lists out in the past, and they've helped, and if people want to donate, they can. If they don't, we'll get it eventually. So we put out a list. And man, I can't even tell you. It's going to take me a second, but I'm gonna read thank yous to people who sent gifts. And I did it yesterday. I'm going to do it again. Like this is a stack. I have a stack, and I have to say thank you because I said I would do it, and I want to do it because of everything that you guys did. It was just like I'm telling you, I was brought to tears. Thrawn 2K, who I've talked about many times over, Auntie M, Alan Weeks, Andrew Schick.
How organized.
Thank you, Nathan Taylor, J.C. Kodramak, Rudy Salazar, Justin Latham, Andrew Schick, Danuno Cernadas, Cliff Elor, Eric Sestamata, Nathan again. Nathan Arena. That's why they're called the Nate Lights and the Nate TV. Eric E. Ben Rayner. Kawika Stoney. Brett Schuler. William Hogg. Great William Hogg. William Hogg. Ryan Ferguson. Jimmy Baker. Sebastian Escalante. Darlene Castillo. Angela M. Dashner. Stephanie Hansen. Reese McKinney. And Jenny Lawson. That's just, and oh wait, and Thrawn, and is there one more over here? No, that's it. So, I had to thank you guys, and by the way.
What is
No,
that?
this is
Do you remember when...
It? Yes, thank you. Faraz Shaika also, but real quick, so the thing, like I said, I wanted to make sure that you guys got your thanks because I absolutely needed to do that, and people are asking, well, this is literally like there's like not much left, but I can't believe it. Like we have a few things left. And I don't even think the things on the top I think are gone now. But
that's a screenshot.
Those are screenshots. Yeah. So basically, if you do donate, please put a note in. I want to give you your props on the air for sure. The link is in the description if you want to. If not, we completely understand, and it's just stuff that we're eventually gonna get. We have the crucial stuff that we need.
So great.
We have the lights like these, and Greg Alba had said, you need some LED lights, and I was like, which one? And we were going over some. Thad Williams helped, and we said okay, and so we put them on the list, and within a day, man, somebody got them. It's really.
We were talking about demographic 3 weeks ago, and you were saying like, you look at the data, it's male skewed, but like a lot of female names because people are dedicated. Like I just want to give credit to like when you look in the comments, people were like, hey, I watched this show.
100%, man, 100%. And I was so. I mean, I just kept seeing things like get taken from. Brett and I thought there was people like five things, and it's like gone. And thank you guys so much for that. I really appreciate it.
It's impressive.
That's so cool.
It is, and it's like it helps. It helps because you know what? Also, it helps. Because and I'll be completely upfront here too. Like I had lunch with Winston and Coy like 2 weeks ago, and I said, look, guys, I don't know what I'm going to be making month one. I have no idea, and I asked them, and I'm going to put them on the spot because they're good dudes, and so is everybody else too. I said, I have to cut your rate by a little because I don't know what I have, and they're like, listen, man, get on your feet, do your thing, and we're here for you. And because of all this stuff that you guys got, I didn't have to cut any rates because I didn't have to spend anything on the stuff. So like because of that,
you literally put food in Coy's mouth. Like you sent a
that's
light.
How you bribe it. That's a good way to do it.
You sent a light, but that light actually turned into a hamburger for my fat ass. Like I'm just so grateful to you.
No, it's the truth, and it was because, and I was like, okay, because of that, because the lights and everything too. I was like, you guys are good. We kept the rates, and so we're good to go. So thank you. And again, by the way, no one here is being put on the spot at all. And what I want to say is, if you didn't donate, totally understand. If you're not a Patreon, if you can't join Patreon and you can't do that all stuff, and you can't, whatever, leave a comment. Like that is really, really helpful. Helps in the algorithm. Helps us get out there as we build our name and get closer to 70,000. All right, enough is enough. Let's get to it, everybody. We're going to start with spoilers on She-Hulk episode 4. So we're going to get into D23 for probably the good majority of this show, but I think She-Hulk, we'll talk about it. It was a shorter episode, and I'll start here. And I gave my thoughts beforehand to easily, by far, my least favorite episode, hands down. The reason why, as I said, there's the stuff I did like. I liked the dating stuff that they had put in the trailer. I thought it played well. I thought it stayed with the balance of Jennifer balancing being a lawyer, dating life, and being a superhero. That stuff I liked. What I don't like, I couldn't stand the actress was fine. The drunk girl thing, it's like, so I just watched Iron Man again with my daughter. Iron Man 1 and 2. Remember that they're at the hearing? There were jokes in that Iron Man 2.
It's still a courtroom scene.
It's still a courtroom scene.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a goofy sitcom.
I didn't love 4 either.
No.
Not gonna lie.
And it was a goofy sitcom, and it makes me nervous because each episode has been getting goofier.
Sure.
1 and 2, they were goofy things, but it was still had that balance. So I was, and I liked having Billy Walsh back from.
Yeah,
that's what I, okay. So that's what I was. That was that.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is I both did and I didn't. Like I'm just trying to.
You liked having him, but you didn't like his role.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
like
get what you're saying.
he is a phenomenal actor. He's very passionate. Like can bring a lot of that stuff out. I think for what he was given, he did a great job. But I just didn't. You got to tell me, because like I thought they were just making fun of Johnny Blaze. Is Donnie Blaze something?
Donnie Blaze is not a character.
Okay.
In the comic books.
Okay.
I looked to make sure I wasn't wrong,
Then
and I went through alternate spellings. Like I was like, what am I missing? I don't think we're missing anything.
And I'm not saying you can't do your own thing, but like
that's not a Ghost Rider thing. I think it's just.
You mean like they made up that character, Meg the Stallion?
You know, Meg the Stallion, new character, Meg the Stallion. I actually watched.
I'm not the only one.
I watched the episode without me. I enjoyed. Why are you so small?
How did this happen? Broke all the things.
Meg the Stallion broke this.
Oh my god!
Oh, you changed it instead of a list. It's now a button, so you can just click on a. No, I wouldn't do that. No, just click the button. Yeah. Oh, you were really fucking it up. Just change the camera with the button.
I can't do nothing.
No. Like click Harloff cam.
I'm trying.
You're on news,
so
bitch.
Happy to be watching this
it's a button now.
Where is it?
The Harloff cam. Click on Harloff cam.
There it is.
Well, it's buttons now.
I don't like that it's buttons.
I know. I can't help you in the.
Where's
that quickly? I'm just trying.
How does it happen?
That was amazing panic in the tiny screen. Meg the Stallion, you besmirched her name.
Yeah, I'm trying to think here. All right, go ahead. Keep talking.
Anyway, it was one of those things where like I didn't mind the drunk girl. There was a point the post-credit scene I thought she was annoying. I actually thought it fit for me for the rest of the episode, but the way things were kind of playing out, like Wong being like, "Well, I actually need you to help with the cease and desist, but now you need to punch the things."
Also, he doesn't seem to know much about the world, and that's weird because, like,
that's very
also
weird.
In the LinkedIn ad, he said he worked at Target, which is a funny joke, but if he worked at Target, he knows the world.
Absolutely.
I was like, I wonder if he was born at Comertage or something. I was trying to rationalize the whole time, and nothing would help me rationalize it enough to make the jokes work. And I get it's a comedy, but I did find the second episode was the only one that's balanced comedy and drama for me all the way, because the first episode is the origin. You got to get through it a little closer. And then the second episode, I think, felt like the blend I wanted, and then 3, I was getting worried like Kristian, and then by 4, I was like, oh no, like, is this not for me? Because I like Reese Quarro, the actor, Billy Walsh. That's the director's husband, Kate Quarro's husband.
Director.
Right, the director of the show.
I knew he was, I thought it was maybe a writer, but yes, you're right, it's the director.
It's the director's husband. Yep. Shameless name drop, talk to the premiere, he's lovely. Billy Walsh is like such a favorite character of mine from growing up with Entourage, so I didn't know he was in the show, and then he was the guy in front of me at the red carpet, so the whole time I was like, Billy Walsh, and my brain, being on a red carpet, I couldn't separate. The whole time I was like, he's talking about Meta-Ian, and I couldn't stop, and then I watched the episode, and I was like, oh, the excitement I had just an hour ago, because it's not the way I wanted that arc to feel. Like,
it was goofy.
Felt throwaway.
It was goofy.
And it also felt flippant.
It reminded me of something. I'm surprised that you didn't like it, only because it seemed like very Taika, Thor, Love and Thunder.
But
courtroom stuff's important to be balanced.
That's what I'm saying though. The drunk girl I actually appreciated until we got to the post-credit scene. Like I actually thought for me.
But you thought she fit inside of that law scene? It was so.
As far
when
as
she showed up, it's like, what judge is going to not say, why are you in here like this? Why are you in this state? And no one, even, I know that we're dealing with aliens and we know that Thanos and everything's coming, but still, someone just dropping into a scene, it's like, someone say something.
The reason why she didn't necessarily bother me is because for me, this law show is sort of skewing towards Legally Blonde, where there is a certain level of seriousness that kicks in at a certain point.
And I feel like that was episode 2.
Right.
This is beyond Legally Blonde.
Right. But then you also have all the silliness. So it's the fact, like, did you all remember that movie?
Yeah.
Well, Legally Blonde, yeah, sure.
So you remember at one point she realizes, hey, he's gay. Like, use that to prove he's not having the affair with her, right? And so they're like, and you met your boyfriend's name is Chuck. No, he's not my boyfriend. And then you bitch, and then all that, right? That was the vibe this drunk girl was giving me. So that didn't necessarily bother me, but it was ironically Billy Walsh and everything around that was driving me up the wall.
Yeah, for me it was the whole tone of the episode, because like Coy was saying, I like when the first 2 for me felt a little bit more 50-50.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I thought 3 skewed a little bit, maybe 60-40, but I was okay with it. It was just fine. Mm-hmm. This one was like 80-20.
20 the other way.
Yes.
And I'm hoping what this is we're about to get into a longer arcing courtroom. Like, we've set up the courtroom, we've established the characters. I'm hoping they showed us the first 4 at the premiere, because 5 through 8, and then like a button for 9. Right. I'm hoping 5 through 8 are like one bigger arc of courtroom with Titania and those things, because I'm worried.
Because now I'm trying to figure out what we're doing going forward. So like you said, if the now main law case is about her name,
and
it's essentially that going forward, And then to that point, is it like, okay, so she really isn't going to superhero going forward? It really is just about like an argument over who.
Well, I assume
really
they'll still
are?
be superhero because we're gonna have Daredevil and Frogman.
Which really makes me nervous now,
Right.
Daredevil, because and I get that in Netflix, he was sarcastic. And
Yeah.
he was funny, and he was funny in
Sure.
No Way Home and everything too. But what are they going to do to the character?
I thought they did Neil Blonsky well. I thought they handled
I
that
did too,
well. But that was in that smaller comedy ratio.
But they also changed his character dramatically,
Sure.
which I was okay with.
But I didn't love how they changed Kingpin.
No,
I did not like Kingpin and
I
Hawkeye.
didn't, and that's the thing. I don't want like Neil Blonsky makes sense to me that he's had to change. It's been 15 years. He's kind of going this Zen thing, and
Sure.
as you mentioned, kind of Charlie Manson-esque almost at this point, right? But like, Matt Murdock doesn't need to have a change.
No, and he's got an
Keep him
18-episode
going.
series.
Yeah.
I want to be serious.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason why we can't. I mean, I hate that they took Wong even further away from the straight man because I think that's what made the comedy work with him.
Yeah.
Is that he was just.
You see what I was
very
talking
up
about
and
now?
down. I get it now. It's funny because we're actually critiquing the show where we're not liking it, and I bet you people will still say we're shilling for She-Hulk.
Oh, guaranteed. No matter what we're talking about Marvel.
It's funny to me.
Yeah.
But I think and I hope what will end up happening is that maybe Jennifer's the one that is a little bit more like comedic and ridiculous, and like Matt is like, yo, chill.
Yeah.
Like, because I think he's probably going to end up representing her, even though
That's what I
she's a
assume.
lawyer and she can represent herself. I would not be surprised that if because Matt Murdock already defended Spider-Man, and
Yeah.
maybe that's why she goes to find him out, that's why.
That's possible. You know why? Because they did say that they wanted to try to have Spider-Man in this show.
Right.
And then Feige had shot him down and said, we can't use him. But the question I have, though, is, whether or not they're going to use him, if they do use him in that angle, as Winston suggested, that he is defending her, that to me gives me hope that there's going to be like an angle.
Yeah.
Because this just seems, I know that it's the whole point of just, it's another case this week, and this is the whole thing, but it's got to feel real.
Yeah.
And the characters, even though it's a big green monster, yeah, but Thanos felt real.
Right. I bought Thanos. I
Yes.
bought Thor. I bought all these other absurdly
Yeah.
godly things.
I think, and this is the one saving grace, because you mentioned it before about the dating. I think that was supposed to be more the focus.
I liked the
you know.
dating
me
stuff,
too.
but it was
And
like 5 minutes.
No, and that I think is part of the problem is that it should have been the A storyline and it was presented as the B.
Agreed.
And it had more heart, in my opinion,
did.
and it had more like kind of grounded energy where like, yeah, there were jokes about the different types of guys she's dating, and understandably so. People of like of different backgrounds, for example, like there was a thing that came out from OkCupid and Tinder, like a study a while ago, that like black women and Asian men are like the least desirable ethnicities and whatnot. So this whole thing about like, or they get fetishized as well. So this idea that She-Hulk is being fetishized, and they dive into that and that whole theme,
That was
and like the
very
fact that she was really with that dude and he really liked her until he saw her as Jen, and then all of a sudden he was like, I gotta go.
Right.
I thought that was so well done and
So-
spoke to dating.
Yes, but so you just nailed it, because this is the thing. That part of the episode had the heart, but it also was funny.
Right.
The stuff with the dating.
And it felt real.
They could have leaned on that for the humor. They could have leaned on that for all the goofiness that they wanted to, because there was some silly stuff in it.
Right.
Just carrying him alone, but it works, right?
And then
has
kept the
heart.
action mostly.
They kept all the other stuff really goofy, like
Right.
the stuff like the stuff where she's running around and she's fighting against demons. I wasn't invested in it at all. Does it look cool? Sure, but it's like, it's goofy.
My issue was there wasn't a threat of danger. There was like if it was a situation where these demons were like, oh dude, they're draining like the gamma out of me or something.
Right.
Now all of a sudden, but you're right. There were no stakes where it just
No.
seemed like I'm just gonna slap this thing. I'm gonna slap this
everyone,
thing.
through a hole.
everyone's and the girl who's drunk just goes to this portal with demons, and she's like, "Oh, I was in a portal with demons." Like, you'd be scared out of your mind. It was so stupid. It's like, I don't care. Well, she's hammered. She went to a different dimension. It's like, that's not, to me, it's not real. It's not real.
It read like an SNL sketch,
Yes.
in the sense that there is a character
Wow,
that
it
Cecily
really did.
Strong. There's a character that Cecily Strong plays called the girl you wish you hadn't started a conversation with at a party.
100%.
And that's exactly that character
Yes.
that she was playing.
Yeah, you're totally right. Like, I immediately am like, that's what that episode was. And that's why it didn't work for me, because that doesn't feel like what Marvel's built.
It just doesn't feel real.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's you can talk about, well, people don't have superpowers. Okay, great. But again, I believed, and I just watched. I'm doing an MCU rewatch with my daughter, and we just finished Thor 1. And I'll tell you right now, we'll talk about this maybe later on. I think Thor 1 and Thor Ragnarok still. I have to watch it again.
Sure.
But Thor 1 is and Dark World way better for me than Love and Thunder.
I need to rewatch them because I liked the end of Love and Thunder so much that it elevated it a lot, the very last 5 minutes. But like, I don't think overall it's gonna hold up for me on rewatch.
Hold on. You are just rewatching those first 2 thirds, so we had to watch that by ourselves.
I watched them already with my wife recently, but I'm watching it. My daughter's never seen the MCU.
Got it.
So we finally we watched.
We do this show here, Kristian.
I know,
it's called Rewatch. We did Thor.
It's on Patreon. On Patreon. But we watched again. I watched Thor again with her.
Because when I rewatched them, I liked Ragnarok a little bit more, but I really liked Thor more. And then Dark World was still boring on our rewatch. But I've only watched Love and Thunder the 1.5.
See, the thing for me was that, and you know, it says something. I still haven't seen Love and Thunder again. I've only seen it. I've only seen it the one time.
I'm curious how you're gonna feel because so Greg Alba was on here, talking about it, and so Greg Alba gave me some guff. After the first time seeing, I said the same thing. I said it's a bit goofy. It was a little silly, and he's like, you thought it was silly, blah, blah, blah. And then he when he was on here, he was like, I watched it again the second time, and I think the second time the comedy just didn't work for me.
Yeah.
I
mean, Taika's not coming back.
Right. So the thing that was interesting to me, and now that I think about it, I have rewatched the shows because a lot of times I would watch right at midnight and then watch it immediately again for the IG show that I was doing a little bit ago, but I have not rewatched a single Phase 4 movie with the exception of Spider-Man, and that I've only seen twice. And
I saw Spidey 4 times.
Oh, I know
I'm gonna see the new cut, and that'll be 5. And then I'm probably done. Then I saw Eternals 3 times.
That's the thing. I have not a single one. Not Black Widow, not Shang-Chi, not Eternals, not Doctor Strange, not Love and Thunder.
Wow. I won't see Doctor Strange or Thor likely again anytime soon.
Yeah.
I want to see. I liked Black Widow. I saw it twice. I really like Shang-Chi, but I only saw it twice. I want to see it on video now.
What I will probably do.
Video.
Old man Jandro.
Jesus.
You guys have a VHS of Shang-Chi I can borrow?
Yeah.
Right. Well, unless somebody at Disney can be so kind as to send me all the 4K Blu-rays,
I will. That's gonna happen.
Probably not. I will probably, because I haven't bought them yet either. Mm-hmm. I know they're on. I like to have the physical media type stuff, but
get them on video.
I will. I think maybe I'll marathon them all again. But the fact that I've not been called to rewatch them all is like making me nervous now that I think about it.
Also, we've got the last Phase 4 movie coming out in November. Maybe we watch them leading up to that, but like the fact that I'm not thrilled to is worrisome.
To rewatch them before that. I have a feeling because of Ryan, and I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. I have a feeling because of Ryan and everything that crew did the first time that this is going to be the action, like the marquee.
Oh, it's going to be, I assume it's going to be revelatory. The fact that my bar is like, it's going to change my life, but I believe in him. I believe in that movie to such a level that I know it will.
Do you think it'll pass No Way Home?
I think my take on Spider-Man is so personal that no movie can, and I can acknowledge that Spider-Man as my favorite movie is different than the best movie.
Let me try that again. Do you think that it will box office pass No Way Home?
I think it has the only potential of the year 2.
Okay.
I think it's the only movie that could, but I know that Spider-Man has such a unique spot in my heart and a lot of other people's hearts, but so does Black Panther. That's why they're the only two that might.
Yeah.
And it's getting an interesting release date. So like Spider-Man's release date, it has a lot of potential.
I wonder if they did that too. I know that things have been pushed and scrambled around, but I wonder if they did that too to put Wakanda Forever potentially, since you got it the first time with an Oscar nod.
Yeah.
You put it later in the year and see if maybe you can pull the same thing out of it.
Also, like you're not putting yourself out of a Christmas contention. Mm-hmm. You know, if this movie's got legs, it's going to be doing well throughout the holidays.
Bro, you don't think black people are going to be watching that when it drops? Thanksgiving,
2 weeks later, over the
Christmas,
holidays,
Kwanzaa, New Year's, Martin Luther King Day, all of Black History.
It's out in March.
It's going to be out forever.
Ryan Coogler has proven he's one of those. Right now, he hasn't missed.
Right.
No. So, and even though he's had some major hurdles in this one, I think I don't know if it beats Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. I think it does very, very well though. But look, we mentioned.
Do you think we trailer 2 next week or this week?
I think we get it on Saturday.
2 days.
I think we get it on Saturday, and we're going to talk about that and more on D23. We're going to talk about that and more.
Cut to your face.
Yeah, it was good.
Because I didn't know what you said, and then it processed.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we are. Listen, I definitely think we're going to get a trailer at D23 for Black Panther 2 for sure as we're getting closer to November. But before we do that, before we get into the trailer, I want to talk to you guys about MyBookie. And I'm excited that they are back, everybody. I'm excited that they are back. I am a big fan of MyBookie, as you know. And as the Bills and the Rams, they are going to prepare to kick off the NFL regular season. Now is the time to prepare for your winning season at MyBookie. So look at Winston. Winston lit up here. He's listening to this. Yeah. Whether you're a veteran bettor or whether it's your first time, what MyBookie does is it gets you the most for your money with a double deposit bonus, which is really fantastic. Here's how it works. You put $250 in. If you did that, you'd get $500 in your account, and you can use your funds to bet instantly on many games, contests, and props that you want. So to claim your bonus, register today and use that promo code BIGTHING. It's designed to add more excitement to the games and sports that you love. Bet on win. You can bet on teams to. You can bet whether it's win totals. You can predict the Super Bowl winner. You can use the MyBookie prop builder and secure the bag. Your winning season, it begins today. You go exclusively on mybookie.com. Use that code, by the way, everybody. Use that code. Well, that's right. Joy Mode. Joy Mode's back. And we're excited that they're back. You should be excited they're back. Because you get excited because they're back. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? I thought so. I thought that was pretty smart. Anyway, listen. Joy Mode. A lot of times you're sitting around that. I don't know why you'd be sitting, but you're probably sitting or standing around the gas station. If you're sitting, hey, maybe that's what you do. But you're looking around, wondering if you want a Snickers bar or something, and then you look, you go, oh, look at that. There's those erection pills. I need one of those. And you think it's because it's a cheap option, that's the way to go. Well, joke's on you, because those things they're shit. They're just not good. They're dangerous for you. Even a lot of the stuff that the medical ones, not the best for you. That's why Joy Mode rocks. It's like a booster, like a pre-workout for sex. It's what I love. And it's like, well, I don't need that. How do you know that? Well, because I can get it going. It's not what that's about. Stop arguing. It's about getting worked up the same way you do. Oh, you know what? I'm going to work out. I'm going to take a supplement. And look at this. I just did even better than I would have beforehand. And that's the point of Joy Mode. You go nuts with your nuts. Joy Mode, man. I love it. I do. I love it. I want them around as long as possible. They can keep sending me stuff. I can keep talking about it. You go to usejoymode.com/bigthing. Usejoymode.com/bigthing. It's worth it. And don't be embarrassed to tell me, hey, you were right. I've been, knocking boots like a mad person lately. Knocking boots? People still knock boots? Well, you will if you have Joy Mode. So one more time, usejoymode.com/bigthing. All right. And it's a big thing with Joy Mode. Makes a lot of sense. Really? Shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, the next thing that I want to talk to you about, we just talked about She-Hulk. Let's talk about D23. So D23, it starts today, really. I think people start, whether it's press or whoever, people are checking in today. But the big panel, the first one, live action, is Disney live action and animated is tomorrow. And that starts on around, I think 3:30, something along those lines. So I will be there, by the way, at D23. So I'll be covering it, doing videos and whatnot. But then on Saturday is that's the Mambo. That's the big one.
10 a.m., bright and early.
That's the big one. You going to be there?
10 to noon, yeah. I'm going down tomorrow, like noonish, so I can catch that 3 o'clock one.
Okay. So you're going to go to the 3 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So maybe we'll just meet up or something.
Yeah.
So anyway, so there's a lot right now. Let's talk about Fantastic Four first.
Yeah.
I think this is, if you're going to do those betting lines, the betting odds, I think that is a sure bet.
Yeah.
That is the bet that if you go, okay, what should I put my money down? If my bookie is going to give me some cash to put down, what do I do? Well, I say you go and you bet a guarantee that they're going to announce the director, they're going to announce who Reed Richards is, and they're definitely going to announce who Sue Storm is. And they're definitely going to announce more than that.
I think they do all four.
I think that you're 100% right.
And I think Doom is the reason we had a week of Black Panther reshoots.
Is Henry Cavill Doom?
I think that, I enjoy the spite.
Yeah.
Because that's funny. Like, I don't enjoy spite as a person, but I enjoy it in this case because it's funny. But I feel like Henry Cavill's, ness, his way of being doesn't quite translate to Doom for me, but I also trust him as an actor.
Did you see Mission Impossible?
I was gonna say, bro, come on.
He has a presence, absolutely, but he doesn't have a hierarchy, like an aristocracy. He
Really?
doesn't- to me,
British.
Even in The Witcher, I just don't.
Maybe I need to see more of his stuff, but just Mission Impossible sold me. That if he decides he wants to, I mean, of course, first of all,
cock those
guns,
Doom
bro.
arms?
Like, come on, why not? But all it is that same ruthlessness, just still. And how many times in Man of Steel is he just like still as hell?
And he
to the point
looks
where he should have
just
saved
like
his dad from that stupid ass tornado, and nobody would have known.
The dog, bro. Gotta save that dog.
Did you guys ever see the Count of Monte Cristo?
Yeah.
He was the kid in that.
Yeah.
And so, granted, it's a very he's not the lead role in it, but he can play that kind of foppy type of thing. But that's not what Doom is per se. But I think he's got way more chops than people love him.
Yeah.
But I think he's got way more chops.
Man
than
from
people
Uncle
realize.
is, I think, one of the best performances of his that no one talks about. It's incredible.
I think he's a perfect Doom.
He looks a lot like Secret Wars Doom, the original. Like, I'm thinking about it, like he looks like, you know what I'm talking about? That image of Doom, like with his hand up.
Well, do we think? All right, so let's go back to Fantastic Four then we'll get into the other things because I want to get into some of those rumors that we keep hearing about, and that's one of them, the Henry Cavill thing, right? But so let's start with Fantastic Four.
Okay.
They've already talked about the director. Who, Corey, when you're looking at that, who was the director?
Matt Shackman.
Matt Shackman. So, and then we have.
Like, I see it. Like, I see
Yeah.
the handsome, the
Right.
clean cut.
Corey's,
like that's
Corey's showing us a picture
that's
of
Cavalish.
Secret Wars. Show me,
It's Secret Wars
can
12.
Can you text it? Can you text it?
Yeah.
To me? And I'll just throw it up on the screen. But so anyway, so if you look at those ones that have been rumored, well, I always say that in the beginning, it said when there's smoke, there's fire, right? Normally, what always happens is that when these conventions are going on, the reporters like scurry around and break the stories, and people start snooping around and they break stuff because people are leaking stuff and everything too. When you get this close, if this would come out like 3-4 months ago, I don't know, anything can happen.
Right.
But when you're this close,
it feels like something got.
I
It's
feel
why
like-
they don't have
yeah.
teleprompters in Hall H. Is they don't want a copy of script to be able to leak.
Oh, in Hall H, right?
But
because
like,
they do it
there's
at
literally
D23,
if it's in
yeah,
print.
yeah, right,
But that's what I'm saying is I didn't realize because I walked out to do the Hall H thing and I looked up and I was like, "There's no teleprompter." And they're like, "Yeah, if there's a copy of a script, that means there's written down all of that."
What's funny about that is that I usually use that teleprompter when I'm at D23 Celebration because I watch them looking at the monitor.
Yeah.
And if I see them about to make an announcement, I tweet it out first before they do it because I see it. Well, but by the time I send it out, it's already been announced.
It's at the same
It's already
time.
been announced.
But you're using it as
So you're the literal reason why they don't put teleprompters on.
No,
he's just getting ahead of the
I'm
tweet.
just saying, I'm
Which
getting
is
ahead.
very funny.
By the time I put it out,
By the
it's
time you're
already-
able
I'm
to
not
type.
spoiling it for anybody. It's
Yeah.
already out there. I just.
But
speak
you're ahead
that
30 seconds.
from the person who's sitting next to me.
That's waiting to hear
looking
it.
at the screen. I'm already looking off the cycle. Oh, Henry Cavill's coming out. All right, good.
Let me prep my hashtags.
That's what I did. But absolutely. But anyway, so what that means is that they're going to definitely announce these people for sure. But Coy, what's the rumor as far as Johnny Storm, man?
I'm hearing
Taron?
2 unknowns, and then I'm hearing Taron. I'm also hearing Daka Montgomery more and more. The kid from
Oh,
Stranger
Dacre.
Things.
Dacre.
Dacre.
Yeah.
I'm hearing
Who
him.
does he play in doing
He's
Say
the
Billy. He was Billy the brother.
Oh.
He
Handsome
was also
mullet
in
brother.
Power Rangers.
Yeah.
He was in Power Rangers?
Sure was. He's one of the
He was
leads.
he was
One of the leads in
Jason?
2017's Power
Yeah,
Rangers.
Power Rangers.
He
yeah.
was Jason?
I don't know. I guess so.
I don't remember
That's-
names.
but
Well, there were only 3. He was one of the Rangers.
he was one
Yeah.
of the main.
Then
was
he
like the main guy.
was Jason then
Yeah.
because one is black and one is Asian, and I know you're not talking about either of those
right.
dudes. So.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
And so he's a former Schmoedown competitor.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Wait,
we might have a
what?
schmo in the
Yeah,
Marvel universe.
The Power Rangers did a Schmoedown. It's like almost like 1 million views on it too. Power Rangers when we were colliding.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
But anyway, Dacre's great.
A schmo in the Marvel
He's great.
universe. It's about time.
And he's very competitive, by the way. I played him in when I was at Fandango. Actually, we interviewed him for Power Rangers also, and I did. We were doing that ski ball the whole time, and I was like crushing it. I never in a million years, if you asked me to do it again, I got 5 in a row of the 1,000, And I played against him. I played against Justin Timberlake. I played against, and I was just like, and I was beating everybody. I'm like, yeah, that's my one claim to fame. But every time I see Dacre now, I always go, you remember we were playing the skee ball? He's like, I remember, man.
From now on, when I see you, I'm going to play Aaron Carter's That's How I Beat Shaq.
100%. Absolutely.
But it's about skee ball.
I think Dacre Montgomery is a fantastic choice for
I totally
Johnny
agree.
Storm.
And that might be why it isn't true, because it'd be like, oh, that sometimes casting just makes more sense than it is actually happening. And then that word gets around because people like us are like, that's perfect. And then it grows and grows. But I like that I've heard like 4 or 5 names, whereas I've only heard like 3 names for Sue.
Right, and which is the most recent is Jodie Comer, which I think that's who we're gonna get.
I mean, between Free Guy showing her comedy chops and that medieval movie, which is incredible. What was the name of the medieval movie? The Ridley Scott joint with.
You're talking about the
Last Duel. The Last Duel. She's so good in The Last Duel because she has to play 3 performances of the same character.
Yeah.
So I see Sue Storm as having to be like an intellectual equal to Reed, as well as be able to have the levity. And like that's Jodie Comer's 2021.
Yeah,
she did it. I want to see it.
Both those casting choices, and the director did what was director?
WandaVision, and he's a TV director.
All right, so all 3 so far
makes sense.
Makes sense. So what about Thing?
I personally haven't heard any names that sound credible.
Yeah.
And it's also a role that they could cast. Like they could keep that one on the DL because it's going to be a voice largely. So like I could see that be an actual reveal at D23 because that wouldn't be as public.
Well, it's also a rumor that he's showing up in this She-Hulk, right? So it's also possible.
I heard Jason Segel for She-Hulk.
I could see that, but all I'm saying is I can totally see them deciding not to announce it at D23 because they're like, we're saving that as our big reveal for the rest of the show.
Sure.
So,
and I could also see that with Doom, where they don't want to show up because he's in Wakanda Forever, which I really think he is.
The only way that they show Doom is if it is Henry Cavill,
right?
Because
we heard he was at Comic-Con, which was a funny rumor. If it is true that he's at D23, it'd be like, oh, I didn't want to get out of the bus.
Wait. But what if it was exactly that? What if it wasn't DC that tapped him to be at Comic-Con?
That's what I'm saying.
You think that Disney did, and Disney heard too much, and they're like, shut it down.
Exactly. That's what I'm wondering.
No chance.
No
chance that they would have pulled it back. No chance. If he was there, he was there.
But I think he was there for another thing as well.
Maybe, but
that's what I'm saying is I imagine that conversation might have happened
because they probably want the word if they're going to do it at D23. Because if you do it, because it's their thing.
It's their home.
It's their home.
I totally think they should wait.
They want the eyes on D23. And if they do, I'm going to give you a little pain here, Coy. This is like if when Johnny Damon was on the Red Sox and then he went to the Yankees. It's going to be.
Oh, I remember.
It's going to be like that, and it'll be that kind of. It shouldn't be, but it's going to be that kind of mood.
Yeah.
Especially in a role like that.
Well, and especially going from it's not a supporting role. Like a lot of actors have played supporting roles in both Marvel and DC, and some actors have played like Ryan Reynolds, Green Lantern, and Deadpool. One of them is iconic. One of them is not respected. Him going from Superman to Doom would be to like giant and both A-list characters.
Absolutely,
it's not like there's a strata.
Because you could make the argument that Doom is maybe the most famous comic book character or comic book villain. Like
he's one of them
ever. I don't know about ever, but
it's like Joker, Lex Luthor, and Doom. Like I know people love Darkseid, they love Thanos, but it's really
Thanos now.
Not even really Goblin, man. I honestly think it's Luthor, Joker, and Doom. Those are like the 3 because Doom really he's mixed it up with everybody. Spider-Man, like Iron Man, Fantastic Four, all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So it would be interesting. But this is the one I'm curious about. So the rumor is that there's both Juan Carlos Esposito and Denzel Washington.
The Denzel rumor's spicy.
And I think that's your Martin and Malcolm, that's your Professor X, and your Magneto. I think that they would then juxtapose each other, but the question becomes, because Juan Carlo is so good at playing a villain, do you tap him into Magneto and you put Denzel?
I think you let him play Xavier.
I think you flip it. I think because I think of Denzel as Malcolm X way back, and you say tap into that for Magneto, and then you let Juan Carlo play Professor X and do his Martin.
Also,
thing.
What other role is worthy of Denzel?
Right.
Like Magneto's one of the best villains of all time.
He'd be great at it, and he'd really nail it. So let me ask you a question though, too, because some people, and this is
also they were both in Malcolm X. Juan Carlo killed him.
So here's my question. This is both, and I have no issue with either one of the choices too, right? Do they change Magneto's backstory though? Because
that's been a hot.
Has it been? Because that's the thing. Because Denzel Washington would not be in a German camp
in the 40s.
In the 40s,
right?
So
If I had to guess,
change
this is what somebody brought up that I thought was like an interesting take, and I don't necessarily hate it, is that you make Magneto, and a lot of people have been upset because he's one of the few Jewish characters in comics, but you make him Muslim, and
I was wondering if they were going to do that.
Similar sort of prosecution that he's been dealing with over in the more recent times, and let that be the point.
Yeah, I think that what Marvel has already done for people who are getting all worked up about it, right, is like there are many variants of different Magnetos out there.
Right.
There are many different.
We had Ian McKellen as an incredible Jewish Magneto, and I'm not. I am neither Jewish nor Muslim, so I can't speak on the representation of a people that I'm not. But that would make sense for how I perceive the character archetype.
Right. Well, look at the Spider-Mans. When the Spider-Mans were talking outside about how they're different. Uncle Ben died for me, didn't die for me, had this, different things happen inside, or didn't die for me. I don't know what happened to the other. We don't really figure it out. But either way, their stories were different, right? So this Magneto story is different. I mean, that's what can be talked about. I just think that you obviously wouldn't have him in the 40s in a.
And you need the age lineup, unless they do the X gene made him age slower. But that adds a lot of supernatural elements you don't necessarily want to bring in.
Well, speaking of that, though, if we're gonna get. Because you mentioned Denzel, you mentioned Giancarlo, and I think that you guys are right. I think both. I actually think it makes a lot more sense. Let Denzel play the bad guy. He plays a great bad guy, and I've seen Giancarlo.
He won an Oscar for it.
And Giancarlo is a very warm. I've had an opportunity to meet him like 5 times. Last time was the best, and I don't know if I told you guys this one, but I was checking out of the hotel, and he was right in front of me with his daughter. I didn't want to bother him for a picture. I didn't want to bother him for. We talked before him too. I just wanted to. He had said something very inspiring the day before at a panel with Jon Favreau, and he talked about how Favreau helped him out and did all this stuff. And I let him know that. I said, I just want to let you know that it was a very heartwarming speech you did, and we just talked a little bit. And he introduced his daughter to me, but he was just this very warm person that. You know he can play intimidating. Yeah. You know he can play scary.
But it's good to see play against type.
Let's see him play who he is.
Because in the 80s, he was playing like not always the villain. I mean, he did kill Denzel already in Malcolm X.
But he's also. But listen, he is also. And that's also though. By the way, another reason you put them back together, but on the opposite side, right? And you put him now as. Because you know he's a very intelligent dude. Yeah. And Professor X, very intelligent
and controlled and focused. I can see that energy.
Like
dude, Gus Fring is Professor X. He just
went through the way of the dark side. Yeah.
That's the only thing.
And Professor X has a dark side. Yeah. Like from the beginning, I've always wanted Sterling K. Brown because he can play both controlled, calculated, and dark and light. Like he's a family man.
That's the thing. Sometimes Professor X is a prick.
Onslaught.
Like, dude.
He literally becomes one of the biggest villains in X-Men. Like it happens. So.
Well, I think that either way, what that means, these rumors are, but for people who didn't know about it, the rumors are that you're going to get. We're going to bring up that list if you don't already know, but it's Denzel, Henry Cavill, Giancarlo, and there were like a couple others that were rumored inside of that, right?
And Jodie Comer was on it, then off it, and now the name attached to it. Like that one feels the most credible. Like I don't know anything more than you guys do, but to me, when I heard Jodie Comer, I was like, that's too perfect.
Someone leaked that list. Yeah. I think it leaks.
John Boyega, Henry Cavill, Jodie Comer, Daisy Edgar Jones, John Krasinski, Esposito, and Denzel.
Krasinski, okay.
So Boyega, that's the one that's because I thought maybe
what a curveball.
I thought maybe Storm, but I was like, I don't know if they're gonna do it. Like, I think Boyega would crush, but I can't imagine them doing another. Yeah.
When you said Storm, I was like, processing.
No.
I don't think they can do it. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna.
I don't think they do it twice.
I don't think they do the Michael B. Jordan and the thing. No, not meaning how they were adopted together or what it was.
Right.
I don't think they do that this time around. I think that if anything, it'll be a newer character or anything to it. Maybe he's.
What if he's Bishop?
Ooh.
I'd love to see him as Bishop. I mean, I think X-Men are coming.
He's got to get a little stocky, though.
I mean, I think if anybody is willing.
No, I get it. But, like, the more I think of Bishop got that light Thor build, bro. Like, he's a Diesel. Like, cock Diesel. I mean, if he wants to do it.
I mean, it can be he's pretty stocky.
No.
Method Man is still the best looking Bishop I've ever seen. If you've never seen the Method Man cosplay, Method Man dressed like 90s Bishop, and I was like, there's your Bishop right there.
That's amazing. I didn't see that.
That's the closest I've ever seen.
I mean, look, anybody could do it, especially if the biggest studio in the world wants to pay for you to get cock Diesel. You can.
If they can woo him like they wooed Oscar Isaac after the Star Wars debacle, that's how you do it.
I don't think that wooing Boyega is going to be tough to do from Marvel because I don't think his beef is with Disney or Marvel. I think he had a little bit of an issue with Disney in the way that they handled a lot of the stuff, but I think that they've made amends on that side. But what I do think is that I think that John Boyega is confident enough in what Marvel has done.
I agree.
Wants to work. It was so funny the other day. I can't remember what it was. We talked about I can't remember what the hell role it was, but I said, of course somebody wants to do that because it also means that you'd get a. Oh, it was Ryan Johnson. I was talking about Ryan Johnson, and I said, like, if Ryan Johnson wanted to do that trilogy again, I go, of course he'd want to do it because he wanted to get that paycheck to do 3 more movies. And like, he doesn't need the paycheck. He's already made millions off of.
Have you ever felt like you've had enough money?
That's what I'm saying. It's like people, especially rich people. Rich people who have money, you know what they want? More money. It's like so. Stop being ridiculous. But the point is, it's the same thing with John Boyega. John Boyega, it's like, hey, listen. We're going to give you a chance. We want to give you a chance. We want the chance to make you the star that you are.
Yeah.
And we want to do more. Like use your amazing
I love that
ability
dude
and give you more. He's great.
Like I love him in interviews. I think he's got an interesting charisma. Did you see his interview with Josh where Josh Harwitz, Daisy Ridley called in and left a voicemail to read to him she asked him to tell Josh that he's not in the Marvel universe.
I love that.
She said, look Josh in the eyes and tell him you're not joining Marvel. And I was like, Daisy.
Did he do it?
Yeah, but like it didn't look comfy. So now I'm wondering, what's going to happen Saturday?
It's going to be interesting. So anyway.
So she added heat to the rumor. Well, so either way, she's trolling us or John.
Either way. So here are all the rumors. All the rumors are there too. But speaking of that, all of that, do we think, I think we get an X-Men announcement. I
do too. I think the Miss Marvel thing, I think, what do you got?
Finish your thought, but I got something for you.
I think the Miss Marvel thing, plus this is what D23 is every 2 years. So
who knows?
They could just do it every 6 months now. Yeah. But like, I do feel like the home court advantage is where they want to announce X-Men. So I don't think they hold on to it unless they're holding on to it for 2 more years, which they could. I think we get some X-Men.
I think you'll get X and Magneto. You're not going to get anything else. I don't even think you'll get Wolverine right now. I think just that. But
Terran's on. Like, it's been a lot of conversation.
Well, that's true. Well, the last one I want to ask you is Krasinski though, because that's another rumor.
He's going to be announced directing a movie.
You think
he's not going to be in a cast? He's not going to be in it. He's going to be announced directing a movie.
I can't imagine they'd cast him as anyone else, and I can't imagine he's Reed.
But wait a minute. Because this is the big twist that I was actually thinking. My brain started formulating. No, I'm serious. No, I'm dead serious. What if he is Doom? And I say that in the sense that even the one no, because there have been a number of times in different stories where Reed and Victor have been on opposite sides where they switch roles and all that. So you had a situation where he looks like Reed in Doctor Strange, but then he's actually Doom in pretty much every other universe.
I don't buy him as a bad guy.
Yeah, I like Krasinski too much.
Come on. What?
So earnest.
I don't buy him as a bad guy.
Even like I buy him as Jack Ryan, but I don't buy him as a bad guy.
But to that point, we were just talking about Doom. Doom is definitely a bad guy, but Doom doesn't like read like a bad. Doom's just like, come on.
He talks
Doom.
in all caps.
Yeah, but he's like, I'm Doom.
Yeah, I know, but you're gonna establish him as being one of the big, one of the big bads.
The big player of the art.
Him and Kang together, So
I could see Cavill in that spot more, especially with his build, with his like.
And Krasinski wants to, dude. The guy's a great director.
He's one of the best working right now. I love his work.
He's a great director, and I think that one of the reasons he probably didn't do Reed is because it's a
10-year commitment.
He's early 40s, right? So I do think he's going to be announced. I think he gets announced.
Snap.
Well, hold on one second. I think he's going to get announced as directing a project. Now the question is,
what if he's directing X-Men?
That's what I was just about. Fuck you. Right. Sorry. I'm sorry. That was literally what I was gonna say.
Winston gets credit for thinking it first. He thought it first.
Why not?
Damn it.
Why not? Why not? Imagine that. Imagine he comes out to do. I mean, look, John Krasinski directing Denzel Washington.
So good at directing.
That would be incredible.
That alone is worth the announcement. And who are the rest of the X-Men? Find out soon. Or if they want to do all the X-Men, if they want to bring out the Wolverines, if you will, if Terran's out there and everything, and they want to go heavy, what that allows them to do, if they do that, what that allows them to do is now it allows them to start piecing in the X-Men into part of their properties.
Because they've already said, and you can look for them.
Yeah. What about Daisy Edgar Jones? I don't think I know her work very well. Like, what is she biggest for? Because the face, Kristian's got it.
What I'm looking, I'm actually. I'll let Corey look it up. I want to do
this photo. Yeah. Because I'm not familiar with her work, and that was another rumor that was coming in. Okay, so let's see. She won a Golden Globe?
Normal people, fresh where the crawdads sing.
This is the one that Coy was showing us.
Like, I see Henry Cavill there.
Yeah.
War of the Worlds. Was she the War of the Worlds show? I don't recognize.
I don't know this work.
I don't either. So
send me a picture of her, please.
Sure.
So So anyway, I do think that that's absolutely potential that they could announce that. Now, if they do that, what I do think is going to happen, by the way, I absolutely think there's going to be an and this isn't just for Marvel. This is for Lucasfilm and for Avatar as well. There's going to be an insane amount of cast.
Oh, yeah.
Insane.
I think it's going to be a full stage. I think it's going to be a dog show. People walk out, wave, leave.
It's going to be an insane amount of. I want pictures from the holding rooms of all these places.
Yeah.
Because you're going to. Because let's say everything we just said is going to be true with Fantastic Four and X-Men. That's not including the stuff that we know. That's not including Andor. That's not including the Acolyte. That's not including Ahsoka. That's not including Black Panther. There's boom, boom, boom. And it's so much.
I think Secret Invasion's going to be there. I think Ant-Man's going to be there to release public trailers.
Finally, right.
Because we saw stuff at Comic-Con and nobody. I thought you were there. My bad. Yeah, but like I think that it was weird. They had that Funko come out officially for Secret Invasion Nick Fury, because I don't talk about leaks, but there was an official one, and everybody was so excited about his costume, and I was like, we saw that. I forgot Secret Invasion never came out because he's wearing the Funko outfit.
That's
interesting.
That's kind of wild, man. Now I am buying into when y'all were like, no, I think Marvel is going to like take a majority of the time, because the minute they started naming the sheer number of like A-list actors or people on that bubble, now I'm like, okay, yeah.
Comic-Con was an appetizer, man.
Yeah, this is
Comic-Con
just
was
getting
an
warmed up.
yeah,
and then we're going to like rest, and then we're going to go into Black Panther season.
What I'm hoping is this. I'm hoping that I do want to see more of Avatar.
Sure.
And we will get that. But I'm hoping the 20th century part of it is 20 minutes.
Avatar,
maybe
Fight
50.
Club 2, Predator 7.
But maybe like 15 or 20 minutes.
Did y'all see there's a TikTok going around with being like, make the next Predator movie, and someone is mad-libbing how to do the next Predator? No, I will send it to you. It is absolutely incredible, and it actually sounds really good of setting the next Predator in feudal Japan.
Oh, I've seen the memes. The visuals, yeah.
You set it in feudal Japan, and you have a guy that's been disgraced teaching this next samurai before he has to kill himself. And then there's two predators where the old predator is teaching the young predator how to hunt, and it's the two of them go. And it actually sounds like an incredible movie.
Watch that so quick. I would watch that tomorrow.
But if we start with the 20th Century Fox. And you're gonna get Avatar, and you get a new trailer, right?
Yep.
So that's
get people's energy up.
Well, not just Star Wars, because what's gonna happen first is 20th Century Fox, the big property that they have is Avatar, and I think anything else, save it, hold it, because you're going to need because that's like 25 minutes, we hope.
Right.
So then that leaves now whatever like an hour and 35, hour and 45 minutes left, right? So you've got now Lucasfilm will come out. Now Lucasfilm, who knows what you're going to get there, because the things you're definitely going to get, I would assume. Ahsoka, right? You're going to get cast with Ahsoka.
Yep.
You're going to probably find out who's playing Ezra and maybe Thrawn, right? You're going to definitely get the Mandalorian Season 3 trailer that they showed. You probably get a little bit more of the Skeleton Crew. You'll get the Ahsoka trailer. You get all that stuff. The Acolyte's got to have some cast stuff that's smoke, wind, fire, same thing.
At least 45 minutes.
But we're not even, but that's the thing, is how much Lucasfilm's going to show, because then you also, Indiana Jones, you're getting something.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not you get a trailer or if you get the first trailer, that's a way to pop pretty big, right? Willow, you're definitely getting more of. So right there, Lucasfilm's already pushing like 40. And if they do anything with the movies or do anything else, so then Marvel will, have about
just shy of an hour.
Just shy of an hour.
If we're at 25,
way.
40, then that puts us at 55 for Marvel.
Right. And then, so Marvel's going to then have all of Phase 6.
I think they're going to fill in those spots. I think they're going to add stuff to Phase 5. I think we're going to see where Armor Wars lies. I think we're going to see where certain things fit into Phase 5.
Trailers for Secret Wars?
No. Trailers for Secret Invasion?
That's what I meant.
I'm like, Secret Wars is a while away. Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion is the TV show, right?
Yes.
That's what I meant.
Trailers for Secret Invasion.
That's what I meant.
Public trailer.
A
lot of secrets. Yeah. Trailers for Ant-Man, publicly.
Yes.
New Black Panther trailer.
Yes.
Secret Black Panther.
And then I think we get casting announcements for Fantastic Four and X-Men. And I think they're huge.
Fantastic Four and X-Men.
Yeah. That's a lot.
John Krasinski, Secret Doctor Doom. He's not playing Doctor Doom. He's Secret Doctor.
You're giving me PTSD when I hear it's yesterday. So when I was at the Comedy Store, it's great. My wife's calling me.
Speaking of PTSD, I was like, voices? Someone hears those, right?
Wait a minute. When your wife calls, it does a hada.
It's everybody.
Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, it's everybody.
I love that if it was only your wife, you're just like, it's like the darkness rises.
No, it's everybody. But I got PTSD
So
because in 2002, 2003 is when I was really spending a lot of time at the Comedy Store, and one of the comedians that I met and became friends with was a guy named Doug Williams. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
Doug Williams in that same year, in like 2003, was asked to do a roast.
Oh yeah.
And Jamie Foxx murdered his life.
No.
And recently, Doug's a really good guy, and Doug was basically what happened is Doug is up there and he's and Doug said it recently in an interview. I saw it. I went down this rabbit hole of it, and Doug was like, it was definitely a hit job. There's no doubt about it. And when you watch it, it was because the host never has their microphone on the whole time.
Yeah.
Jamie had his microphone on the whole time, and so Doug's up there trying. It was like the roast of Emmett Smith, and so he's about to say, and he said a couple of jokes here, go over the well, and then Jamie just has his mic on. He's like, "This is your conscience." He's like, "Maybe I shouldn't have said that joke. This is your conscience," and just killing him. And here's Monique next to Jamie laughing, and they're just killing poor Doug. Doug Williams is such a sweetheart of a guy.
Yeah.
I remember he was talking about the Comedy Store, and we just used to I was like, what a good dude, and just. So when you did that voice, I was like, oh, it just reminds me of how
Jamie Foxx in your head.
Jamie was being a jerk to him.
Yeah.
It was funny, but he was being a jerk.
Dude, he is, and that's the one. Well, I guess he is technically in the MCU now because Electro got introduced. But I was gonna say that man might be the most talented person on the planet.
Jamie Foxx pretty
Yeah,
talented.
like,
Insane. Like his
singing,
impersonations,
stand-up, comedy
Drama,
impersonations. Have
everything.
you heard drama? Have you heard his Donald Trump impression?
It's pretty
It's good.
incredible.
I heard it.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
It's really good.
I think he's in the comedy, like him and Donald Glover, because they always have like new skills.
Yeah,
Like
it's-
whenever like I'm like, oh, and that thing you're also
How long
doing.
before he shows up in Marvel? Probably
Dude,
pretty
well,
soon.
he's in Spider-Man, but I want him.
right.
But I want a Prowler.
Forgot.
Like I
Let
want,
him-
let him actually
play Prowler,
be.
yeah.
I think that's how you're bringing Miles. Like actually have him as the villain of the Miles Morales.
I
movie.
forget because of the Sony universe side of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, look. So we got so much inside of there already, right? We got X-Men. We have Fantastic Four. Any other? What about Blade? Are we going to get anything on Blade, you think, at all? Or Deadpool? We didn't even talk about Deadpool. Deadpool's definitely going to be announced. You don't think Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds is going to come out? I think that's a definite.
I am always worried because I'm too excited. So the fact that we haven't heard a lot, and the fact that
It's February.
it was so. Wait, what was February?
February, isn't it February 2023 is when it's coming out?
No.
I thought there's an open spot.
There is. I don't think that's Deadpool anymore.
I think it is.
You think
What
it's
do
coming out
think
in
it
5
is?
months?
You think we've heard nothing about Deadpool?
And it's coming out in 5 months.
No, I don't.
I'm like, are they filming
You have
it
to understand
now?
something. When I walk into my house, I lose all track of time. I don't know
We
what
live
happens.
in LA. There aren't seasons.
I don't know what happens.
Your kids just get bigger.
My kids are 43 years old.
I do think 43.
Yeah.
I do think
This is your conscience.
February, Deadpool 3.
I do think we get Deadpool, but I think it's gonna be almost like a post-credit scene of like the presentation.
Yeah.
Where Ryan comes up and be like, "You're really gonna do this whole thing without me?" Like that'll be his last little button. And
Yeah.
then, oh my
think,
god.
I think it's announced. But the question is, what's that February movie? So whatever it is has been announced. So maybe it is Deadpool.
In 5 months?
I
Because
know,
they
but
just
what
hired
else?
the screenwriters.
But what else is it?
When
So
Swan-
answer the question then. See, it ain't that easy.
I didn't stake a claim.
Right. But that's the whole point. Is there is a movie coming
There
out
is a February
apparently in
2023.
And here's the only reason I still think it is a possibility that it's Deadpool. The only reason it's a possibility. Those movies, for what they're big movies.
Yeah.
But they're not.
I would
on the
love it to be
scale-
more like the first one where it's like punk rock again.
It's a smaller type of movie that you could film, and maybe they did already.
Yeah.
And then you could get it out in 6 months if
Man,
they
I'd
start
love
shooting.
that.
But even if it's not Deadpool, what the hell
What
is it?
is it? Are you sure it's Marvel or is it just what Disney?
I thought it was an
spot?
untitled Marvel movie.
That's what I thought too.
I'm gonna bring it up real quick and go to.
Because I'm racking my brain unless you're gonna bump Ant-Man up, which because Ant-Man comes out next year, right?
Ant-Man comes out in February. So actually, wait. So maybe
Maybe it's
let me see. Let's see what it is. So I'm looking at upcoming. Let me sure we have upcoming box office numbers, upcoming releases. All right. So we're checking. Definitely spelled that wrong.
shit.
Let's go to. I'm going to. We're starting with. Let's start with January and see what happens as we get done. Because November, we know everything that comes out now. So as we get.
Hi, Mark.
Yeah, as we get to January, that's Mark.
No, not Brett. The room.
Oh, okay.
The room.
Oh, Ant-Man's February. I think it's been labeled.
So Ant-Man is February. Okay, so then that's what it is. So never mind. So we just done nonsense for the list.
That's always like the only thing.
I thought it was Ant-Man, but then I was like, is there something I missed?
Marvel movie somewhere? So
I think it's February 2024, which could be Deadpool.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe
because I thought they announced a February date that isn't.
So they
in
don't.
5
Wow.
months.
So they don't have another Marvel movie until when?
Let's see.
Because I'm not seeing one.
Cross Spider-Verse.
Guardians, May 5th. Guardians. We'll get
Guardians.
more. We'll get that trailer from Guardians at D23.
Oh, is that not public either? Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, we're gonna get that. So we didn't even talk about Guardians. And the Guardians will probably come out.
Dang, Guardians May, Marvel's July.
Yeah, and then the Marvels comes out in July. Yeah.
So we've only got February, April without Marvel, and then so it's gonna be busy
So then
next year.
let's see what usually there's a November.
There it is. Untitled 20th Century Studios film is going to be announced, whatever that is.
Whatever that is. And then you've got...
That Marvel movie got canceled, re-released in October, so then...
Is there anything in this
Nothing
December?
Blade's in November. Blade is already next November?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was announced 2 or 3 years ago.
No, I know. I just...
All right, so let's see if it's February. Yeah, they don't have Untitled Universal...
Marvel film, February 16th.
That's That's what it is. Okay.
Deadpool is February...
Right, so I was right and wrong.
Right.
I was right and wrong at the same time.
You were right adjacent.
It is
February.
There's an Untitled movie in February in 2024.
In 17 months, I think Deadpool could come out.
But that's my point, though. So Deadpool, I think then, now that we've gone through that, it was a long road, but we got there.
Oh, my God.
What I think is going to happen is this. I think that because of that, and now that that's a thing, I think Deadpool is announced, and I think they announce it comes out in February of 2024.
I'd like that. I think that would make sense. I just hope, because we haven't heard a lot about Deadpool lately, and I do feel like the things we've been hearing about will be happening. Since we haven't heard any smoke fire with Deadpool, I'm a little worried. And I just always get concerned getting my hopes up for that property because we've been like, for so long.
All right, listen, this is a hell of a show. A lot. And look, once again, the studio is coming along, and it is because of you guys. If you want to, the stuff is there. It is on the list. There's really not much left, but thank you guys so much. Brett's literally right here, right now, and he's working on this stuff, and that's why you see it's a work in progress, but it's working. Like I'm actually looking at it like a real nice monitor now. Because of you guys, and the other little monitor I had, it was fine. But this is something that's right in front of the guys can see themselves now. It's like, it's great. There's more stuff that we're going to be doing, and we're building it up. So, like I said, I will be at D23 tomorrow, as will Coy, and then Saturday there'll be tons of coverage on this channel. So make sure that you check that out. Check out Winston, check out Coy. I'm actually putting up Winston's, if it's not up already, his Pinocchio review. It's going to be on the Clips channel with these other things that are also on the Clips channel. Make sure you subscribe to that if you haven't already. And that's really it, guys. Make sure you comment, leave your thoughts. We'll be responding to you and all of that. I just got to do this. I'm gonna help myself here now because I gotta have the actual logo when we leave though because it's gonna drive me nuts. So it's not She-Hulk or D23 anymore.
Is it any of those?
Yeah, it's on the
We got time. We can vamp a little bit.
That's not it.
I don't even. Oh, there it is. No,
Yep.
no, you're close.
There
There it is.
All right.
Hit the music.